I'm twilight fishing the New South Wales North Coast. Hi, my name's Roger Osborne. I've left the south coast of Ulladulla and I've headed north because it's such an amazing area up here. I used to spend a lot of time here surfing and fishing from my 20s onwards. I so love this stretch of coast. Tonight I'm fishing just before dark and into dark. And while I'm doing that, I'll be sharing with you my thoughts, my strategy, and showing you my gear. Stick around to the end for a free PDF download which will outline some vital keys from today's session. If you're enjoying my content, I love it when you subscribe because it really helps my channel. So if you haven't already, make sure that you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's get started. So I've popped down to the beach. At the moment, high tide is actually at 10 o'clock tonight. And last light is 7:15, so it's about 3 hours after dark. I'm not intending to fish until 10 or 11 o'clock, but I would like to fish until after dark, the run-in tide. Low tide was 2 hours ago, so it's 2 hours in, so the water's getting deeper, which is great. I'm doing my double bait setup that I call a mixed grill or a double bunger. I'm using a beach worm for my top bait, which I've got some worms here. I caught some worms actually, it was yesterday afternoon, but they're still in pretty good nick. So still alive after, well, they're 1 day old, so that's all right. So I'm gonna fish a beach worm and a half pilchard bait. But what I'd like to do a little bit later is if I catch something suitable, I want to get my bigger line and put a big bait out as the water gets deeper. Because this is really, it really is awesome mulloway country. I'm not fishing the perfect tide right now, but I still think it's always worth having a bait out there. So that's what I'm going to do. Just quickly, if you're as passionate about fishing as I am, and you really want to improve and enjoy it even more, why don't you join Roger's Fishing Online Fishing Club, my membership. I've got some amazing people who are members, and we all share our information with each other. There's so much content on there. There's all my fishing courses, plus there's a heap of stuff that's not available on YouTube, and there's no lock-in contracts. You can leave anytime you want. So head on over to rogersfishing.com and check it out. So I got the worm on. The pillies are still a little frozen. I've already chopped the tail off with my thumbnail, and I'm just going to break this with my hand. I'm not going to use this part. I'll chuck that into the surf as it can act as burley. Then I'm using the classic 2-hook rig, which I absolutely love. I like to put the first hook in and pull it all the way through, and then pin that in the middle of the flesh, slide it round, pull the line tight. Now pilchard's a pretty soft bait. It doesn't matter, the hook doesn't really need to be exposed when you're using pilchard because they are pretty soft. I'll put that stinger hook in the top and do that reverse loop, which is called a half hitch, around the top of that bait, and that's my bait there. You can see the tiny little barb of that size 2 stinger there. You actually see the barb of the 4-0 hook there, but that's ready to go. The water's not so deep out there. There's a little bit of a trough out in front of me. I think I'm most likely to catch a bream or a whiting or a dart at this point, although it's great that the sun is getting low. I love that late afternoon just before dark time. It's got to wash my hands so I don't get muck and sand on my reel. These beaches on the north coast are so flat. Really, they're like a billiard table. It's amazing. There's a lot of worms here, but when the waves wash in, because it's so flat, they wash up a mile and then they recede a mile. 1 minute you've got heaps of water here, the next minute it's miles out. Oh, the legs got a bit wet then. I think my pants just got wet and I got that in my pocket. It's wet actually, you can see it. It's got a case on it, so it should be all right. But I think I'll put it in my backpack. But the fish always take priority over things like phones. I'm down here with my mate Loza. He's up the beach getting his gear ready. I've got my line in the water. I'm sure he'll be down here soon. And hopefully between us we get a lovely feed. We actually caught a nice feed this morning and we've just eaten some fish for dinner, which was pretty cool. We had an early dinner because we want to get down here and get the line in the water before dark. It's coming back towards me. Have I got the fish or not? Oh, I'm not sure. My drag was a bit loose then. I had a bite then and it actually came back towards me quite quickly. I don't think I've got something on. It didn't feel all that big. No, I don't. I've still got my worm bait. You can see the worm is intact, but look, there's the pilchard. So whatever it was knocked that pilchard off. Didn't feel very big. Could have been a dart or a small brim, I think. I've got a spare pilly here. I'm just going to toss this back out again. So we can get another bite. Don't really want to cast it out all that far. It's just this little trough near the shore. That'll do. I had a bite, but I missed it. Not really any drag. A fraction to the right, that's all. It's getting sucked over that way now. Gotcha. Oh man, that bit quite hard then. I was just standing there, nothing was happening, and then I'd go whack, whack. Actually felt like a brim often bite like that. It'll be interesting to see whether this is actually on the worm bait or on the pilchard bait. It feels like a reasonable sized brim. Just getting closer to the shore now. Here he comes. Just let this wave help bring him up. Yeah, he's a lovely brim. Look at that. That's a beautiful beach brim. So my pilchard bait is still intact, but this brim has taken the worm. I'll just grab him. There you go. The bait has he's inhaled that worm. What a stunning fish. I know go on about them, lots of people do actually, but they are a beautiful fish. Beautiful Aussie fish. Classic. You know, I reckon that having a pilchard bait or a half pilchard bait with a worm, actually, it's really like, while fish will want to eat that, it's almost like burley. For, you know, you've got a lovely bit of smelly pilchard there and a bit of worm hanging around. It's pretty good. Yeah, dart. I think Uncle Loza is winding something in. Oh, it's a whiting. There you go. Looks like it might be just undersized, but it's a whiting. We'll have to look and see. Hang on, got a bite then. Just had another bite. I'm waiting for an opportunity to strike, but no, it's gone quiet. I think I'll chuck it out again. Alright. This is my third cast. I caught a brim. I think it was my first cast I got a brim, then I had a bite before that took most of my worm bait, but I didn't hook it. It didn't really kind of run with it. But the good thing is the water's getting deeper all the time because the tide's coming in, and it's a 1.84 high tide tonight, which is a reasonably big high tide, so there should be quite a lot of water movement coming in. We've tucked ourselves away in this corner of the beach because it's just been a lot of swell the last couple of days, and it's a southerly or southeast swell, and it's pushing right down the beach, and when you get further down the beach you toss your line in it just goes sideways really quick. So when it's like that, you need to find places where you can hide out of the current a little bit. So that's why we've come to this lovely little corner here. And I know that it'll fill up with more water as the tide comes in and the fish will move in. So that'll be good. Getting a few bites, but I'm just waiting for the... I think Loza might have one actually. I'm getting a few. Is that another whiting or is it something else? Oh, it's... Oh no, he doesn't. Oh, it's a baby dart. I think I might have lost my bait because I was just getting a few whacks then. Almost worthy of striking. Yeah, I think I better check my bait. If you take the first letter off the fish dart and replace it with F, what do you get? Don't do it, don't do it. Oh yeah. I was waiting for a bite for a minute then. I was getting a few nibbles but wasn't actually hooking up. Or actually just had to wait for a few minutes until I got a bit of a more solid strike then. This feels like another brim. Here he comes with the wave. Yeah, he's actually another nice brim. Another brim. So it's another brim on the worm. Like I said, I think the pilchard acts as a good burley. Oh man, for the brim. You can see he's really just lipped that guy. Oh, here's another keeper. That's good. Haven't been fishing all that long. I'll go and put him in the keeper. I was hoping to target mulloway while I'm up here this time, but the conditions and the swell really haven't played into that. However, I'm fishing at twilight now, fishing just into dark a little bit because that's always a good time for mulloway, and they get a lot of school mulloway on these beaches on beachworms. So even though the tide's not perfect and it's not necessarily the best features, I still want to fish now because you've got to be in it to win it, and you always have a possibility. So let's see what happens as it gets dark to see if we get something. I absolutely love fishing at this time of day. That last hour before dark, you just can't beat it. Has to be one of the best times of all to fish, really. You know that we catch fish all day long, but this really is an awesome time to fish. Had a nibble. Come on. Funny that sometimes how you get a bit of a bite or a bit of a nibble and then nothing for a minute. I know I've got plenty of bait on the line, so that's why I'm just waiting. Sometimes they do that. Or maybe that's one fish had to go and then his mate will come along. I saw a guy surfing out there before. It must have been 200 metres out from shore. Miles out, and he's all by himself. He got a couple of good waves though. I think I think that might be him coming in over there, but gee, he was breaking out a long way. I think I might chuck my line out again. Ah, he's got that one. I need to cast out again. Just not much falling off. I think Laurie's dropped it. Oh, you do actually, it's a whiting. Well, that was a nice size whiting. Actually, it's a keeper, that one. So that's great. We've got a couple of nice brim, a whiting, still not dark yet. So we're getting a few bites. I wouldn't say it's going like crazy, and I really don't expect to catch any salmon. They don't seem to hang around here much, the old Aussie salmon. They seem to be something that really frequent the area, really from the Central Coast south mainly. There's plenty of salmon in Sydney, and obviously a lot where I live on the south coast. Yeah, I went a little bit further out that time. It's unusual, it really came towards me quite quickly then. It's like, yeah, the line really moved straight at me. Yeah, I'm getting a bit of a nibble now actually. I definitely think something whacked it towards me. Yeah, gotcha. Ha 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 ha. Nailed him. He's going over to my right a little bit, this guy. Come back, come back. He's doing the salmon thing. Bring him up with this wave. Oh wow, that's a bigger brim. That's bigger than the last one. Wow, awesome. You got one too, Loza? Looks like Laurie's hooked up as well. Did it get off? Oh no, you got it.
Oh, I had two on.
You had two on?
Yeah, and it took the
double banger.
leg.
This is another beautiful, beautiful brim. A little bit bigger than the last one. So the brim are definitely out there, Laurie.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
they're coming in fast now.
they are, mate. You had two on.
I had two rigs on, like two hooks.
Yeah.
And it was twice as heavy, and all of a sudden the bottom half of the rig's gone.
Right, and you
Yeah.
just come back with that. Okay, well I better get my bait back out there, I think.
Okay.
I've caught 3 beautiful brim on beach worms. I've been having my pilchard baits taken, but I haven't caught anything on pilchard yet. So that's the value of having 2 different baits. Obviously one of them is working. Beach fishing is such an enjoyable sport and a great way to catch a feed. But I'd like to know, you guys who are watching my video at the moment, is there anything that I haven't covered? Do you have any other questions, anything that you'd like me to put together in a video on beach fishing? If you can put it in the comments, that would be really helpful. Thanks. Oh man, that hit quite hard then. My bait was only in the water like for about barely a minute, and I got whacked. I think it's another brim. Hit it pretty hard actually, although it doesn't feel as big yet, even though it bit pretty hard. Yeah, it's a brim, it feels like a brim. I better go down near the water's edge and bring him up. Yeah, another brim. The brim are coming in thick and fast. And the good thing is that they're all legal size, which is great. You can see he's got a gob full of worms, that guy. Well, I'll do a quick change over and get my line back out in the water. Oh, I had a bite then, but it swam towards me, but I didn't land it. I didn't hook it. There's another brim, I think. Got to check my bait. I'll tell you what, the mosquitoes are off the scale here at the moment. When I walk up to my gear, I get absolutely nailed. Down here on the water's edge, there's a little bit more of a breeze, but oh man, those mozzies are bad. Yeah, my worm bait, actually all my bait's gone. My worm and my pilchard. So I'm not going to catch anything with no bait. You know, when you're getting a bite on the beach and you want to know when to strike to set the hook, the reason that you strike is to set the hook in the fish's mouth. You can only really be confident that a fish has got the hook in its mouth when you have a consistent pull on your line. In other words, when a fish is just going knock, 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 it hasn't picked the bait up, it's not swimming away with it. So you're really waiting for that moment when a fish actually picks it up and starts swimming, and you feel a consistent pulling on your line. That's the time you know that the fish has obviously got the bait in its mouth and you can set the hook. So very often I wait until I get that obvious strong pull on the end of the line before I set the hook. The only exception really is tailor, it's a different type of bite when you're fishing for tailor. But other than that, nearly all the time you're waiting for a consistent pull on the line before you strike. At the moment I'm really loving it when the cool water is washing up my legs, because my legs are so itchy from mozzie bites. I've obviously been nailed. Every time I walk into the water, it's like, oh, that feels so much better. So it's actually it's almost dark. It might not look like that to you on camera because sometimes it looks a bit lighter, but it's nearly dark now. There's been a lot of bream out there, which is awesome. But this is the time where you may get a bite from a mulloway if there happen to be some around. The tide is only halfway in at the moment. So, still got a long way to go before high tide. I think Laurie's on again. Hang on, I just had a bit of a nibble myself. Just waiting to see if I get a decent hit. Although Laurie said he's not sure. What's going on? Hang on. 1 minute it's going forward, the next minute it's, oh no. That was just random bites then. Last time I wormed my line in, I had neither bait left, no pilchard and no worm. I've got my top hook, but I don't have my bottom hook on my sinker. So something's gone on there. If you'd like a free PDF download of some vital keys from today's session, hit the link in the corner or in the description below. Guys, this has been a really enjoyable session. However, those mozzies are starting to really annoy me. It's just after dark. I just lost my gear. Something took the bottom half of my rig, so I'm going to call it quits. Thanks heaps for watching. I'll see you very soon in another video.